With the Alameda County Board of Supervisors deal to sell their half of the Coliseum land to the Oakland A's in the news lately, I thought it would be interesting to take a look back and tell you why that decision to sell their half of the land, to get out of the sports business, was the single biggest mistake that may have led to the A's eventually leaving Oakland. And when we look at everything that transpired as a result of this deal, something really doesn't add up. There's a missing piece to the puzzle. We'll get to that at the end of the video, but for now, let's just dive right in and look at everything that has happened since Alameda County decided to sell their share of the Coliseum property to the A's, thus setting off a whole chain of events that was and will remain to be very damaging to the city of Oakland. So way back, March 2018, pre-pandemic, A's president Dave Kaval sent this letter saying he needed to have the Coliseum site and Howard Terminal. Those were the original parallel paths. They had to have both. Because if Howard Terminal didn't work out, the backup plan was the Coliseum. That would solidify their future in Oakland. And this is after they'd already messed up the Peralta Community College site. Kaval writes, "Of course, significant uncertainty remains on how the various challenges for Howard Terminal can be satisfied given our previous experience at Peralta. It has become clear that the A's need to solidify control of one site in Oakland that offers an assured path for the development of a new privately financed baseball venue, the existing Coliseum complex. The future of the A's is too important to further risk alternative uses of the Coliseum site at this time." So there you go, March 2018. Parallel paths were the Coliseum and Howard Terminal. Las Vegas wasn't even in the picture yet. So what happened? The Alameda County Board of Supervisors decided to get out of the baseball business, get out of the sports business. They sold their half to John Fisher and the A's, undercutting the city, who did not know this was going to take place. That agreement was struck in April of 2019. And in these terms, there wasn't anything about the land reverting back to the county contingent on if the A's stayed or not, but there was one provision that is looming large today. If the A's announced a move, they would have to pay the entire amount of the purchase price in full within 180 days. The county contends that they have done that. The A's have been pretty silent, but their own words certainly suggest that they've announced they're moving to Las Vegas. So with the county's half sold, this is where things go horribly wrong. And this right here may be the biggest blow to the entire negotiating process, the thing that could have derailed the entire deal for Oakland and the A's. It started with the county sale, and then the city sued. Phil Mateer in the San Francisco Chronicle wrote at the time, "In a move that throws a curveball at the Oakland A's, the city of Oakland has sued Alameda County to block the county from selling its ownership in the 155-acre Coliseum Arena site to the baseball team." A's president Dave Kaval said Monday that the team was completely blindsided and very disappointed. The suit also apparently upset Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, who said she hopes the city suspends the suit, which was filed by the city's attorney at the direction of the city council. So in October 2019, Rob Manford came out here and he laid down the law. He said, drop that lawsuit or we're done with Oakland, and Las Vegas is very much in play. Again from the San Francisco Chronicle. The suit sent the negotiations between the city and the team into a legal tailspin and prompted a pair of private meetings among Major League Baseball's Commissioner Rob Manford, Mayor Libby Schaaf, and City Council President Rebecca Kaplan. Manford, quote, laid down the law, according to Councilman Larry Reed, who attended both meetings, telling city officials to make the lawsuit go away or risk the team moving elsewhere. So what happened after that? The city backed down. They tried to get this lawsuit off the table. Let's not do this anymore. The A's tried to sweeten the deal, saying, we need your half of the Coliseum site. We already have an agreement for the county's half. So what did the A's offer? Check this out. In addition to paying for it, the A's also agreed to pick up the operating costs for the Coliseum and Arena, which are estimated to run $15 million to $20 million a year. In return, the team would agree to stay in Oakland and not pursue a possible relocation deal with another city during the 6 months of negotiation. It's interesting that before they've even announced that they're going to look at Las Vegas, the A's are already floating an offer that would include them not looking at Las Vegas. Clearly, that specter was looming the entire time. So the city did what the A's asked. They backed down. They got rid of the lawsuit. Here's where things start getting even more interesting. June 2020, city agrees to sell their share to the A's. Headline, with finances shaky because of pandemic, Oakland now looking to sell Coliseum site. More from the Chronicle. It took a bit of debate, but the Oakland City Council has instructed staff to begin negotiations to sell the city's half of the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum site to the Oakland A's. So keep in mind, we're in the throes of the pandemic now. The city has given the A's what they asked. They instructed staff to go through with it, giving the A's full control of the Oakland Coliseum site. And they already had their E&A at Howard Terminal. They could have had 2 major sites fully under control, but they chose not to. They didn't take up the city on the deal. They already had control of the county's half, and they were about to get control of the city's half. But why didn't they follow through with what they wanted? That is where the biggest missing piece of this entire puzzle comes into play. Why, when they got exactly what they wanted, did they balk at the offer? Now, I have spent a whole lot of time reaching out to as many people involved in these negotiations as I could. I've talked to several people. No one really has an answer for what happened. I have some theories. One, maybe at the time, you remember, John Fisher wasn't paying rent on the Coliseum. He wasn't paying rent on Gap stores. He was furloughing staff. He was doing everything he could to save money. His Gap stock was plummeting. Maybe he didn't have the financial wherewithal to seal the deal, getting the other half of the Coliseum. Or, and I think this could be the real one, if the A's realized they had full control over the Coliseum and full control over Howard Terminal, they would have no excuse to look at Las Vegas, right? How could they say that they need Las Vegas when they have 2 major sites, 100 plus acres at the Coliseum, 55 acres at Howard Terminal, all wrapped up? One plan A, one plan B. But now they're saying the Coliseum isn't viable anymore after getting what they wanted. Why did they want to buy the land so bad if the Coliseum wasn't viable? Remember, initially they said they needed the Coliseum site to help fund everything they needed to be doing at Howard Terminal. Then they just dropped that. It just disappeared. No one really knows why. And third, and this is another interesting theory, perhaps the A's realized we don't have to buy the Coliseum site. We already have the county's half. So no matter who steps in, AASEG or Dave Stewart's group, doesn't matter. They're going to have to come to us and negotiate. We own half. They don't have the controlling half, but they know they can squat on it, run out anyone else's E&A, and hold that land hostage, which is what they are doing now. So that, to me, when I look back at everything, is the biggest missing piece of the puzzle. What exactly happened? The A's had everything they wanted. They had everything they asked for from the city. And they chose not to take them up on the deal. And then guess what happened after that? May 2021, A's parallel path to Las Vegas begins. In ESPN, Oakland Athletics to start looking at relocating elsewhere. The Oakland Athletics on Tuesday said they will start exploring the possibility of relocating with the blessing of Major League Baseball, a move that could put pressure on local government officials to greenlight a new stadium project that has spent years in limbo. And there it is. The parallel path to Las Vegas emerges. A path they never could have taken if they had full control of the Coliseum and full control of Howard Terminal. A path they took while full well knowing they got everything they asked for out of the city and the county. Over $500 million in on-site funds that would have been reimbursed on the construction project at Howard Terminal. Another $400+ million of off-site funds, with more potentially on the way, to fix the area around where the ballpark was supposed to be. But as you can see, when you look closely at the history and everything that went down between the A's and Oakland and Alameda County for that matter, nothing was ever good enough. Nothing was ever good enough for John Fisher, Dave Kaval, and the A's. They always wanted more. They were always afraid to jump in and sign on the dotted line. And they have always, and I've said this many times, looked everywhere but their own wallet for funds. And now they're in Las Vegas. Maybe someday we'll see some renderings.